So the thing to highlight here is the iterative process of how this is made, right? So you're learning something and you're testing it, and you're learning something, you're testing it, and you're learning something, you're compiling it into a final product. Now, the reason this works really well is because you're working with different sources of data. It gives you a chance to collect a lot of different perspectives, and it really gives you a chance to learn as much as possible and really try to rule out any bias that might be present in any of these reviews, right? So like people that may have been paid to write reviews, people that may have got free product for reviews, or there was some kind of motivation there that wasn't just genuine, like I either like or don't like this product. So we'll look into it with the examples again. I also just want to pull up the blank sheet. But essentially, the first step is to really identify your target brand, right? So this is, if you're an agency watching this is your store, your client. If you're a marketer, copywriter, media buyer, something like that, creative strategist, it's the store you're working on. And you're basically just going to use this to fill in some basic information. Now, about the main product. And essentially what you'll do is you'll also collect 3 to 5 competitors from the client. So the index here is what you'll use to put all the information in. So review location type, pretty straightforward. We'll go into like the high level of all these in this video and then really dig deep into them later. But the brand you're reviewing, the topics as you're finding them. Again, we'll go through this in the next couple of videos. These gray ones don't really change. These are just there. The industry, that's also something you could select here. And the reason it's set up like this too is just so it'd be very easy to, as you collect, data and mine data from 100 stores, all these are in tabular format, relational format, whatever you want to call it, again, when it's structured like a database. So we can pull these out and slap them all into a lot of columns and just have an understanding of all the accounts we did, their main website, their product, the price point, when this was done. So a lot of this is done to be to collect data for the specific store. But if you're, good and can work with data, or you have a data engineer, Python or whatever, you could easily pull all this information and consolidate it into a giant data set and then start looking at this in terms of industry or price ranges and stuff like that. So this was structured this way on purpose to be able to collect large insights later on. But anyway, going back to the concept of the iterative process, the idea is you start with understanding your product and your competitors. You mine a bunch of reviews for your competitors here and keep your index current as you go through. So as you identify new topics, you set your topics, you select your information here, features, this one was process, right? So these will change automatically. And you fill these all out as much as you can. And I like to try to get like 100 extracted reviews, and we'll go into that process a little bit next. 100 mined pieces of copy. And then the next thing you do is you fill in your product keywords. So this is done with the Keyword Surfer Chrome extension. I'm actually just going to install it real quick. Set it up. And essentially what this does is there's a lot of keyword research tools in the market. This one's free, very easy to use. I think that was it. It's already done. I actually don't even think you have to make an account anymore for it. And sour candy was one of the examples. So there we go. A bunch of keyword ideas will pop up, and you can flip through them and fill in your keywords here. This will give you research queries now. So essentially, once you've gotten your mind reviews and your topics, you fill them in here as best you can based on the descriptions of these. So features, ingredients, processes, just the names here. And you could see in the sheet here for research queries, I'll show you in a second, but so you'll just replace these names here, fill them in with the most relevant ideas. You put your keywords too. And then you see now it says K1, F1, all those from those cell references. It fills them in and turns this into a searchable checklist. So it'll search Reddit, and the breakdowns of all these are here. So location, a lot of these are Reddit, top 10 articles, different blogs, product specific or use case specific. So product specific is a lot of the keywords and the features from those this tab here. So the features, the keywords. It's going to search Reddit for things that the product does essentially. And then your use case specific ones are based on like the selling points, like what does the product do for you, the values, the pain points, all the different definitions we looked at before. And that'll give you a lot of information just from clicking these links, tons of Reddit threads. So now, zooming out, again, focusing on the iterations, you've got your, you've done your mining, you collected a whole bunch of topics, you plugged them in here in the names, and then it generates this list here. Use this list to now search the research. So now, like as you're going through and getting all these Reddit threads on product specific queries and use case specific queries and mining all this copy and recording the links where you found this stuff, you're starting to confirm whether or not the stuff in here is insightful enough, or it's missing stuff, or it seems like it's probably a lot of fake reviews or whatever it is. So now you're in the second iteration of learning stuff, collecting all this information. And then the third thing you do is you grab all the competitors' information. You look at their product pages, you read them, this will create all the landing pages for them. You look at their social medias, all this stuff. And now we're going to take all this information and fill in the descriptions here. So the descriptions are basically copy and pasting the information you collect from those sheets. So for example, we'll look at freshens breath, and we'll go in here and we'll filter on fresh breath. Start adding this, blah, 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 minty. So here's a bunch of stuff. We'll take a look at this one, do the same thing. Okay, so fresh breath wasn't even mentioned on here. So the other thing is too is, I mean, we're typically doing a lot less of these. There's only like 37 entries. We could do more. But the idea is you want a good balance of these, 10 of these, 10 of those, try to spread it out. And, you know, it looks like there's probably more on the pain point side of things here. Taste for this water additive for the dog breath. But so again, iterative process, the last step is to now fill in these descriptions. And this is like the high level, everything that the ad development specialist would need to make the ads or create a storyboard for UGC, or a content brief for UGC, or content recommendations, or whatever it is. And yeah, I mean, the idea is you're now, after going through this process and researching the product, you should have a pretty damn good idea of what it is and how to sell it. And that's the whole point of this. It's for the person researching it to really understand what's going on, or the person writing the ad to be able to leverage someone else's hard work. So this is a great training progression for marketers. You start them out doing this stuff, you get them up to speed on understanding selling points, and then you start teaching them how to make ads. It's a really great progression. I've done it before with teams. It works really well. And yeah, I mean, this next couple of videos is going to walk through it a little bit more in detail. But any questions you have, send me a message.